With only one temple remaining, Smoo and the Fool cautiously entered the second temple from the right. Strangely, an eerie neutrality permeated the air, leaving Smoo unable to detect any signs of the dark energy that had haunted their journey. The Fool, briefly succumbing to doubt, questioned the accuracy of the prophecy portrayed in the wall painting of the Arcana Palace. Navigating the serene interior, the duo arrived at the heart of the temple, encountering the 11th major arcana, Justice. Seated before a loosely hung purple veil, Justice exuded an aura of impartiality. Her sword pointed upward, signifying firm and final decisions, while scales in her left hand epitomized the delicate balance between logic and intuition. Justice wears a crown with a small square on it, representing well-ordered thoughts. The gemstone is embedded at its center. She clads in a red robe with a green mantle. This imposing arcana's presence commanded respect and a subtle foreboding. Addressing Smoo and the Fool in a calm yet threatening manner, Justice identified herself as the third sister of virtue and guardian of one of the 4 palace temples. Unlike her sisters, Strength and Temperance, she remained untainted by the dark energy's corruption. Acknowledging Smoo's triumph over her siblings, Justice declared her intention to avenge their defeats and asserted that Smoo must face the consequences of his actions. To the Fool's relief, Justice revealed that she would not succumb to the dark energy's influence. When the Fool implored Justice to provide her gemstone for the gate, she dismissed the request, proclaiming her intent to settle the score with Smoo in a one-on-one battle. Commanding the Fool to stay out of their confrontation, Justice stood up, places the scale on her seat, and raising her sword as she approached Smoo, prepared for a fair duel with the feline adventurer. Taking a combat stance, Smoo steeled himself for the impending clash. However, this battle was different. Justice fought with a drive and clarity untouched by corruption. Waves of slashing energy emanated from her sword as she unleashed a relentless barrage upon Smoo. Despite his teleportation prowess, Smoo found himself overwhelmed, suffering numerous wounds and witnessing the scales tip in Justice's favor. Realizing that relying solely on sight wouldn't suffice, Smoo tapped into the lessons learned from the star. Retreating momentarily into another dimension, Smoo took a 5-pointed stance. All 4 of his paws and his chin touched the ground. With his eyes closed, he began to channel the technique he learned from the star that reached harmony between his conscious and subconsciousness, the state of ultimate instinct. Returning to the physical dimension, Smoo, now guided by intuition, preempted and effortlessly dodged all of Justice's attacks and landed an uppercut claw attack that caught Justice off guard. Regaining her stance, Justice attempting to strike again with her sword, but before she could, Smoo intercepted her thrusting slash with a claw attack of his own, which torn her robe. Smoo stands firmly and stares into the eyes of Justice with his own big golden eyes, showing unwavering resolve and bravery. In a surprising turn, the scale tipped as the momentum shifted in favor of Smoo. Torn between embarrassment and frustration, Justice feigned surrender, only to exploit Smoo's momentary lapse by despicably stepping on his tail. As Smoo writhed in pain, Justice raised her sword for a finishing blow. Unexpectedly, the scales tipped abruptly in Smoo's favor, sending a shockwave that knocked the sword out of her hand, disarming Justice. The scales' judgment condemned her dishonorable act, and Justice, overwhelmed with shame, burst into tears while kneeling on her hands and knees. Smoo, acknowledging the victory, withdrew his claws and walked away, leaving Justice in her moment of remorse. Witnessing her instruments abandon her, Justice vanished into dust particles, leaving behind the fallen crown and a gemstone. The Fool, picking up the gemstone, embraced Smoo with pride for his honorable victory. Smoo embraced his friend in return with a meow meow of appreciation. As they returned to the courtyard, they placed the final gemstone into the gate of the largest temple. The gemstones glowed in unison, and a blinding light enveloped the entire gate. When the light subsided, the gate stood open. A portal to the heart of Arcana awaited them. The duo took a breath, ready for the culmination of their extraordinary journey.